What we know about the shooting at a Donald Trump rally. Let's start with this word, shooting. A shot is when a bullet comes out of a gun. So why don't we say the shot at a Donald Trump rally? Well, the reason is that shooting suggests it was a long event. We use ing for longer things, don't we? And a long event is more exciting than a short event. That's pretty interesting, huh? How about this word, rally? That's when people with the same beliefs or the same idea come together to talk about that idea. So here, Trump is giving a speech. And all of these people who came to watch believe what Trump has to say. They like his ideas. That's a rally. Okay, we're going to read through the rest of this article in a second. But first, who am I? My name is Reese. I'm from EnglishWithReese.com, and I'm here today to help you level up your English with the news. So here we have a real article from The Guardian. I've made it a little bit shorter and I've changed a couple things, but the vocabulary is the same, the level is the same, the grammar points are the same. So we're going to go through it. We're going to look for advanced grammar, advanced vocabulary, and some advanced pronunciation tips. And I'm going to use my knowledge to help you. So let's jump into it. Suspected shooter and one rally attendee dead, says Butler County District Attorney. Here's what we know about the situation. Okay, I think we're going to start with the word suspected. Of course, it comes from the word suspect. And that's when you think somebody did something wrong. An example, I left a slice of cake in my fridge. In the morning, it was gone. I suspect my wife took it. Okay, she is suspected of taking the cake. Okay, our next word there will be attendee. That comes from the word attend. And when we attend something, it means we go to something. Maybe you attend class. Maybe you attend to your job at work. Now, check this out. The sentence structure is a little strange, isn't it? Suspected shooter and one rally attendee dead. It feels like there's a word missing. It feels like perhaps we should say, are. But that's a feature of news. They often miss out the verb to be. Is, am, are, was, were. They just don't put that in. I think it's because they used to save space in the newspaper and therefore money. These days, I guess it's just a new style. Okay, let's carry on here. We have the Butler County District Attorney. A lot of big words in a row there. A county is a part of a country. Maybe in your country, you call them provinces. They're more or less the same thing. And district is very similar. That means a part of a country or a part of a city or a town. Perhaps here it's a part of the county. And then attorney is a fancy word for lawyer. So when we say the Butler County District Attorney, we mean the lawyer for Butler County, for the Butler area. Okay. Here's what we know about the situation. Okay, situation, we could say, is the context or the event. It's a thing that happened in a time, in a place. Okay, a bit vague. Let's go back to this word, attendee, for pronunciation. Now, I don't say attendee. Actually, I say attendee. I'm being quite lazy. In fact, attendee. In fact, when we have an A at the beginning of a word, It's quite often a schwa, an sound, attendee. A shooting occurred at a Donald Trump rally on Saturday, followed by the former president being rushed off stage with blood around his ear. Okay, a shooting occurred. It means a shooting happened. It's not quite the same. It means it happened, but it wasn't planned. Okay, so in other words, Donald Trump and his team didn't plan for this to happen, of course. To them, it just occurred. It's like it happened by accident. A shooting occurred at a Donald Trump rally on Saturday, followed by the former president being rushed off stage. Former means true in the past. Okay, he's not the president now, but he was. Here's the former president. I am a former supermarket worker. I used to work in a supermarket. When we use this word rush, it means to move quickly. And it says here, he was rushed off stage. He wasn't the person rushing. His team rushed him off. Maybe they had their arms around him and they moved him quickly. That could be the case. He was rushed off stage. Let's check that out for grammar. Okay, this is a passive structure. It's a little bit strange, but we see it a lot in the news and occasionally in everyday life. Another way that we could have written this clause is security agents rushing the former president off stage. But the problem with this is that the security agents are not the important part of this sentence. Actually, I want to focus on the former president or the rushing, the action or the object. And that's why we've moved things around. So I've put the former president first, and then I've said being rushed off stage. So that's object, which is the former president. Then we need the verb to be. I'm going to put being because we have rushing in the active sentence. So I'm going to try to keep that same tense as much as I can. Then we have the verb, which here is rushed off, which is actually a phrasal verb, but we can still use it. And in fact, that is a past participle. Some of you will know that as the verb 3. And then we can have a further object like the stage. Now, what we could do here as well is say who did it. Okay, so here it was by security agents. You could say that. That's good English. You don't have to. It depends whether you think it's important to the sentence. But the main reason for this passive structure is to put the object first. I'm saying the president is more important than the security agents. I want to put him first in the sentence. Trump was speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania at 6:13 p.m. when loud noises were heard. Okay, no real advanced vocabulary there, but some hard pronunciation, I think. Like Pennsylvania. It's quite a long word. There's a lot happening in the mouth. So when I have a long word like that I'm struggling to pronounce, I like to start at the end, like with ear, and then I add a bit more ania, vania, Ulvania, Sylvania, Pennsylvania. And starting at the end is a lot easier than starting at the beginning. So that's a little trick for you. I'd like to talk about the time quickly. I would call this 6:13 rather than 13 minutes past 6. That's okay, but 6:13 is quicker. I think it's what the writer was thinking when they wrote this, because they put it in this format. And then we just say PM. Our next word, noises. Okay, both of those S's actually make Z noises. Okay, noises, and then heard. Of course, here is the present tense. In the past tense, the pronunciation changes. Heard, heard. He appeared to have been struck near his right ear. He appeared. He seemed to have been struck. Now check out this pronunciation of been. Not have been, of been. Okay, a little bit different, right? He appeared to have been, right? He appeared to have been struck near his right ear. Okay, struck meaning hit. He appears to have been hit near his right ear, clutching it and ducking down. When we clutch something, we hold it tightly. I imagine Trump was holding his ear pretty tightly at that time. He's clutching it. I'm clutching my coffee cup. Okay. And then to duck or duck down means to move your head or your body down because you don't want someone to see you or to hit you. Maybe you duck down when you play sports like dodgeball. As security agents and others leap to his aid. Security agent, that is a two-parter. An agent is somebody who does business for someone else. So you might know about a travel agent. So security agents provide security for someone else. Security is keeping something safe. So the people who keep Trump safe and others leap to his aid. And I think that's a mistake that even the news company has made. Leap. I think that should be in the past tense. Leaped or leapt. Okay? And to leap means to suddenly move, and aid means help. So they suddenly moved in to help. One spectator was killed, and at least 2 were injured. A spectator is somebody who was watching. And injured means hurt. So one person who was watching was killed, and 2 were hurt. Trump, with blood on his face, appeared to say, "Fight, fight," and was escorted from the stage. You might know this word, fight, meaning to punch or kick somebody. But it doesn't always mean that. And in fact here, I don't think that's what Trump meant. I think he was saying, try hard to stop something bad happening. Okay? In the past, in my country, people fought for women's rights. There were women in the past who would fight for their rights. They're not commonly punching people. They may be raising their voices, getting into the newspaper and things like that. They're doing whatever they can to stop something bad happening. So I wonder what Trump meant here when he says to everybody, fight. Does he mean, let's fight for what we believe in? Let's try to stop the people doing bad things to us? I don't know. Perhaps that will come out soon. It says here he was escorted from the stage. That means someone went with him to protect him. Example with children. They often need an escort when they go somewhere, usually a parent, because they can't be trusted to go to a different city by themselves. They need an escort. The FBI is investigating. They're trying to find all the facts. Trump's team confirmed he was fine. They said it was true that he's fine. And being checked at a local medical facility. Another big one. Something local is nearby. Okay, just near to the area. A facility is a place where something happens. What happens in this facility? Medical things. That's close to the word medicine, isn't it? So perhaps this was a doctor's office or a hospital, something like that. Trump later posted on Truth Social, saying he was hit by a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. A bullet is the metal part that comes out of a gun when you shoot it. And to pierce means to make a hole through something. A lot of people get their ears pierced and then they put an earring in there. This gun shot at Trump and the bullet pierced his ear. It went through and made a hole. And then we've got this word, upper, the upper part of my right ear. That just means in the top half or near the top. We're not saying top because maybe it's not right at the top. It's just somewhere around the top. It's the upper part. Sometimes you hear the upper floor, or I'm doing upper body workouts. I'm just concentrating on the top half of my body. The FBI named Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, PA, as the shooter. Okay, they named someone. So there's a few ways we could read that. Maybe the FBI had a baby and called him Thomas. I don't think that happened. The FBI was named Thomas. That was their name. I don't think that's right. What it actually means is they gave this person's name. So to the average person in the public, like me and you, we didn't know that shooter's name. But the FBI named them, gave us their name. So it says here that Thomas Matthew Crooks was killed by the Secret Service. And that's a part of the US government that protects the president. Okay, they are the security for the president. And officials, someone in a position of authority, somebody who has the job to say these things, said that the suspect was perched on a rooftop. Okay, when you perch, you sit near the edge of something, usually something high up. So this shooter was close to the edge of the building, close to falling off, I suppose, and probably quite high up. And it says here that he used an AR style rifle. We're using style as a suffix here. That means we're just putting it onto the end of a word. And the reason for that is this suffix means looking like or behaving like. And a rifle is just a name for a long gun. Okay, so what I like to do at this part of the video is to read through the article again, but this time in my own native way at a native speed. Before I do that, I'd love to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel if you like content like this and if you want to level up your English. There are a lot of videos on my channel, so go and check them out and leave this video a like. Let's take a look. What we know about the shooting at a Donald Trump rally. Suspected shooter and one rally attendee dead, says Butler County District Attorney. Here's what we know about the situation. A shooting occurred at a Donald Trump rally on Saturday, followed by the former president being rushed off stage with blood around his ear. Trump was speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania at 6:13 p.m. when loud noises were heard. He appeared to have been struck near his right ear, clutching it and ducking down, as security agents and others leaped to his aid. One spectator was killed, and at least 2 were injured. Trump, with blood on his face, appeared to say, "Fight, fight," and was escorted from the stage. The FBI is investigating. Trump's team confirmed he was fine and being checked at a local medical facility. Trump later posted on Truth Social, saying he was hit by a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. The FBI named Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, PA, as the shooter, who was killed by the Secret Service. Officials said the suspect was perched on a rooftop and used an AR-style rifle. Okay, that's going to be it from me today, but make sure to check the description for this video if you want to download this as a PDF. I'll see you next time.